In the Unit 5 discussion, Saman asked the question, how do I write explanations, like in those tutorial problems I'm giving you guys, or maybe writing an explanation on a worksheet, or an explanation on a midterm or final exam, which you'll have to do. How do you write in words an explanation of a physics problem? When you're learning physics, this is hard to do. So I have 5 tips I just came up with to help you with explaining in words. Tip number 1, use the technical language of the field. So far this semester we have learned a bunch of technical vocabulary. We've learned these words: position, displacement, velocity, acceleration, magnitude, direction, vector, scalar, component, force, gravitational force, normal force. You get the idea. We've learned a lot of technical vocabulary, and this technical vocabulary is super useful because all of these words we've learned have really, really specific, specialized meanings. They convey a lot of information very precisely. So use that technical language. Don't try to invent your own words. You already have learned the best possible words. Tip number 2, discuss only the situation at hand. Another way of saying number 2 is really read the question and make sure that you're answering the question that's being asked. So only address whatever's being asked in the question. Don't go off on a tangent. Don't try to explain other stuff. After you've written some explanation, reread your explanation, reread the question, and ask yourself, did I address just the question that was asked and nothing more? If you went outside of that question, you need to revise your answer. Number 3, use the simplest language possible. So a lot of times I see beginning physics students try to come up with their own words for things, or they try to write really long explanations or use fancy words to try to sound smart. That always backfires. We already have the best possible words you can use. So go back to point 1 and use this technical language that you've already learned. And don't try to be fancy, don't try to sound smart, just discuss the situation at hand, learn the vocabulary use the vocabulary you've learned, and write the simplest explanation you can. Similarly, point number 4, make every word count. Don't try to fluff up your answer with extra stuff that's maybe irrelevant or doesn't answer the question, or again, that you're hoping will make you sound smart. Write what's necessary and nothing more. And now I understand that it's hard to do these first 4 things, right? We're all learning. You don't have a lot of experience. Sometimes you're not even sure whether what you wrote is right. You're not sure if you're using the simplest language possible. You're not sure if you're using the technical language correctly. So this brings me to point 5, which may be the most important one of all. Read the textbook. Study verified educational resources. This will immerse you in the language of the field. So being able to write physics explanations is just like learning a language. I know many people in Physics 6 they have English as a second or third or maybe even a 4th language. And the way you learn English is by immersing yourself into an environment where it's being used all the time, and you can learn from native English speakers how they say things, how they explain things. The same is true when you're learning physics. You need to immerse yourself in this environment and learn from native speakers, meaning educators, professors, scientists, how this language is used. So So read the textbook, watch my videos, listen to my explanations, find good educational resources online, YouTube videos. These will all be people who are using physics in a native language kind of way. And then by immersing yourself in this, you'll begin to see how people speak and write and communicate.